Welcome back to the deep dive. Now, if you've ever looked into Sri Lankan history, you definitely know the name Sigiriya, the Lion Rock.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 5th century fortress, those amazing frescoes, King Kashyapa fleeing his brother. The standard story.
Exactly. But today, we're actually leaving all that verifiable history right at the door, deliberately.
We are, because our mission today is, well, it's a bit of a leap. We're diving deep into just one single source. It's called the Ballad of the Blind Man of Sigiriya.
Okay.
And this isn't history class. It's more like a mythical map. It claims the rock hides things like astronomical devices, secrets that might even predate human history. Wild stuff.
Right, and the poem sets that tone immediately. It starts familiarly, upon the rock of blazing gold where Kashyapa's tale is told.
The classic setup.
But then it just pivots. It talks about the fortress itself almost being alive. The lions roared in stone and flame and whispered forth the hidden name. The focus shifts straight away to something hidden.
And what's really fascinating is how the poem uses descriptions of the architecture we think we know, but it twists them, adds these impossible mythical details right into the structure.
Okay, let's get into that. This architecture of legend. The source talks about the climb up, but not just, stairs carved in rock.
Which is already incredible, let's be honest.
Right. But the poem calls it a stair of wind and a gate of sky. That's different.
It really is. It makes the whole experience of climbing Sigiriya sound almost, spiritual.
Yeah.
Or maybe even technological, not just physical.
Yeah.
Think about what that suggests about the builders. Maybe they weren't just building defenses. Maybe they were trying to connect literally the ground to the sky.
Like the climb itself is some kind of alignment process. Okay, and then there's the lion structure, the big one. The pause, the entrance. We know what that looks like historically.
The iconic bit.
But the poem throws in this really specific, really odd detail. 3 claws of stone, not 4, they say.
That's such a strange detail, isn't it? Why 3 claws? Why take one away?
I don't know.
Well, in mythology, sometimes asymmetry or imperfection, it signifies something hidden, like a secret path, maybe. Or it's deliberate symbolic code, breaking the expected symmetry of a guardian. It hints the entrance we see. It might be a kind of mask.
Okay, a mask. And then there's another layer, something older than Kashyapa. The poem just drops this line, Gurula's wings still lie. Hang on, Gurula. What exactly is that for anyone listening who might not know?
Right, good question. The Gurula is basically the Sri Lankan version of the Garuda. The huge mythical bird, often golden, seen in Hindu and Buddhist stories. It's Vishnu's vehicle. So by saying the Gurula's wings are still there, the poem isn't just talking about some carving. It's linking Sigiriya to this deep mythological layer. Celestial vehicles, epic gods, long before the 5th century king.
Wow. So if the base is tied to mythical flying things, what about the top, the summit? History tells us that's where the palace was, the water gardens.
Yeah, the conventional view. But the poem saves its most challenging architectural claim for the very top. It completely throws out the idea of just palace ruins. We really need to focus on this bit, stanza 6. It claims, upon the crown of Sigiri high, a step pyramid touched the sky.
A step pyramid? Why is that such a big deal? Because, it wasn't just built normally according to this ballad, not just quarried stone and later.
Exactly, not normal at all. The way it describes the building process is, well, it's alien. It puts it squarely in the realm of, alleged pre-human or celestial construction.
Oh, so?
It says the blocks were aligned to stars of flame. And the key bit, built by no mortal hand.
Okay, no mortal hand.
That shifts Sigiriya entirely. It's not just a fortress anymore. It's presented as this highly precise, maybe even functional cosmic device.
Aligned to stars of flame, that implies some seriously advanced astronomical knowledge, right? Way beyond what we usually attribute to that period, like precision mapping. Maybe it was a giant beacon. Or, I don't know, an energy receiver.
And the poem backs this up with the atmosphere. It says the summit glowed. A silver hue, especially when the cosmic view appeared at night. Yeah. And there were sounds, distant voices singing, the gods once slept beneath this star. It sounds less like a king's garden and more like a landing pad or some kind of celestial communication hub.
Okay. So the architecture itself is telling this impossible story. Now, where does the blind man fit in? Who is this guy?
Right, our protagonist. The poem introduces him as just a nameless man. His job, to clear the dust, the weeds, the thorn, basically maintenance.
Just a cleaner. Why pick the most ordinary person for this huge cosmic revelation?
That's a really important point, I think. It might suggest that this kind of knowledge isn't found by the kings seeking power. It's found by the humble, the ones just doing their jobs. He wasn't looking for secrets.
He's just weeding.
Pretty much. And doing that, he finds the door of crystal gray.
Crystal gray. Not just a hidden stone slab, then. That sounds advanced. Technological, almost.
And it wasn't just a door, it was a threshold where senses seemed to merge, according to the poem.
What do you mean?
Well, the voices he heard hummed in bright array. The walls were shining walls of fire and mist. It was a place where time and form together kissed.
Whoa.
So not just a secret room, more like a place where the normal rules of reality kind of break down, maybe a dimensional thing or a complex energy field.
And right away, this links Sigiriya to something much, much older than King Kashyapa. He sees the throne of Ravana's kin. We should probably quickly explain who Ravana is.
Yes, definitely. Ravana is a massive figure in South Asian epics, especially the Ramayana, often called a demon king, but also depicted as incredibly sophisticated, possessing advanced knowledge, maybe even technology, flying machines.
The Vimana.
Exactly. So linking Sigiriya to Ravana's lineage. The poem pushes the site's origins way back, not just 5th century, but maybe potentially millions of years, to a lost high-tech civilization.
Okay, this is where it gets really wild. The chamber itself. What did the blind man actually find in there? What technology?
Right, the contents. He entered a chamber where the stars begin, so deeper than just old thrones. It was about power, machinery. He saw, quote, machines that spoke in tongues unknown.
Spoke. Not just word or hummed.
Spoke. That doesn't sound like simple mechanics, does it? It suggests some kind of communication. Data transfer, maybe? Something beyond human language. Vibrational. Or maybe communicating with something else.
And the power source. The poem mentions something about that too, right?
It does. The atmosphere inside, it says, was sustained by winds that rose from walls of stone.
Winds from the walls. Like the building itself was breathing, generating its own environment.
That's what it implies. Some kind of self-sustaining energy, maybe tapping into the Earth's grid or using that cosmic alignment from the step pyramid. This place wasn't just sitting there, it was operating.
So connecting the dots, the ballad is basically saying Sigiriya isn't really a palace. It's a piece of ancient, advanced technology, dormant, disguised as a fortress.
That seems to be the core claim, yes.
And the blind man sees all this ancient, powerful, frankly terrifying tech running right under the current king's feet. What happens next? What's the political fallout?
Well, the reaction is immediate. And it's driven by fear. Pure fear, leading to brutal action. But first, the blind man himself, he realizes the danger.
He does.
Yes, he tries to hide it. He sealed the gate with molten clay, so none could find that path today. He knew what he'd found was too much.
That's fascinating. He censors it himself first, but clearly that wasn't enough for the rulers.
Not even close. The knowledge itself, even sealed away, was the real threat. It shook the foundations of their power. The poem says, the kings grew pale. The lords grew dread.
Just knowing it existed was too dangerous.
Exactly. Too dangerous for anyone, especially an ordinary man, to hold in his head. So the decision was swift and brutal. Whispered, blind the man, they said.
Oh my God, they blinded him.
That was the price. Physical sight traded for cosmic insight.
That is horrifying. They're saying, we can deal with the machine if it's hidden, but we absolutely cannot deal with an informed commoner. That speaks volumes about power and controlling the narrative, controlling history.
It really does. And this leads to the poem's sort of paradoxical ending. What happens when you blind a man who's seen something so fundamental, so cosmic?
Does he? Does he forget?
No. According to the poem, he still walks the park. A cane, a sigh, his eyes all torn. His normal sight is gone, obviously.
Right.
But when the moon shines on Sigiriya, he smiles. Because the real vision, the ancient secret he uncovered, he still has it. He sees it in his dreams.
Wow. So they took his eyes, but not his inner sight.
Precisely. He traded temporary physical sight for kind of permanent psychic vision. His knowledge of the machines, the rock's true identity, no earthly king could take that away now.
And the secret itself, it just keeps running.
It endures. It's still there, humming away beneath the surface of history. The poem finishes by saying, deep under the lion's paw, the palace breathes, the lights still glow, and water hums to secret law.
It's still active.
Apparently so. And the final, chilling line just sums it all up. And the blind man sees what we don't know.
It completely flips reality, doesn't it? Suggesting the famous historical site we all admire is just window dressing, a facade.
The very carefully constructed facade, hiding something much older and stranger, protected not by armies, but by a blind man's memory, his dreams.
So we've gone from Kashyapa's palace, the history books, to this legendary Sigiriya Ravana's kin, a star-aligned pyramid, talking machines.
And the central powerful idea that emerges is that some knowledge, maybe the truth about our deep origins or about hidden power, was considered so dangerous by rulers that it had to be violently suppressed, sealed away, wiped from sight.
Which leaves a pretty provocative thought for you, listening right now. If the poem's central idea holds any water, even metaphorically, if the deepest insights into reality sometimes require losing conventional sight, or if true access to potentially dangerous knowledge only comes through dreams, myths, non-standard ways, what are we missing?
What essential truths might be right in front of us, hidden simply because we only trust what our eyes or our history books tell us?
That's the challenge, really. The challenge of the blind man of Sigiriya. Something to maybe mull over next time you look at any famous ancient site.
Is it showing you the truth? Or is it just really good at hiding it?
A powerful final thought indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the mythical heart of Sigiriya.